I'm Mary Ellen Saganovich, and this is Miracles with Mary Ellen. Today on Miracles, I'm going to be speaking about the miracle of religion, and I'm going to touch on spirituality just a little bit. You know, religion has done many wonderful things for millions of people around the world, and religious wars have killed millions of people throughout the years, or throughout the ages. You know, my first teaching job that I had out of college, and this was back in 1975, I took a job in the North Carolina mountains. Now, I had many students, well, all my students came from very poor families, and they had very different religious backgrounds. Religions that I had never heard of, such things as snake handling and speaking in tongues, were things that I was not brought up to understand. Now, I taught English during my first year teaching, and during the fall, I would teach a segment on new and dead words. These would be words, new words would be words that are brand new to our vocabulary. And then, of course, dead words are words that we no longer use, or there are better words that we can use instead of these. So I would have the kids cut out a baby for the new words, and on the diaper write the new word, and that this time one of the new words was rap, and then have them put a type of music. And one of the other new words at this time was info for information, or expo for exposition. And then for the dead words, they would make tombstones. And on the tombstone, they would put the dead word. Now, they would put something like thee and thou, although it's used in the Bible, of course. We no longer say it in our polite conversation. And also a dead word that people overuse, and I still use it myself, and I shouldn't, is the word get. So I would have them write the word get on the tombstone, and then I would have them write what they should use, such as I went to the store to purchase, I went to the store to buy, I went to your room to find. You know, there are always better words that you can use. So in this study of new and dead words in English, I would take the kids, we had 66 kids my first year teaching, and of course I had another teacher helping me. There were two of us for 66 kids. And we took the kids to a field trip to a cemetery. Now, that's not an ordinary field trip, I understand that, but there are also new, alive, and dead cemeteries, and that's a whole nother discussion. Anyway, the kids would go to the cemetery, and they would find, for math, they would find the youngest person in the cemetery using the birth and death dates. And then they would find the oldest person in the cemetery through their, of course, their birth and death dates. Okay, and then they would do for art. We taught respect to the kids. We taught them to walk behind, not walk on the graves. If the graves were littered or something, please pick it up. We had a trash bag. And for art, they would go behind the tombstone, put a piece of art paper up, and they would do a tombstone rubbing for their art project. Well, Kevin was a boy in our class, and he was the troublemaker that year. So while we were in the cemetery doing the tombstone rubbings, Kevin said, "Hey, Miss Stewart, come over here. I want you to see something." And I said, "Of course, Kevin," because he was really into this study. And I was so glad, and he wasn't being a troublemaker. It was just great. And he goes, "Look, this is my dad's grave." First year teacher, I'm trying not to react. I'm trying to respond. I'm like, "Well, that's great, Kevin. You honored him by doing a tombstone rubbing. That's awesome." I said, "But I didn't know your dad had died." And he goes, "Oh, that's okay. My mom shot him." Now, I'd met his mom, so I knew she wasn't in jail. So still even more stunned than before, I was like, "Well, Kevin, why didn't they just get a divorce?" And he looked at me and he goes, "That's against our religion." And I was like, "Okay." And I will never forget that moment in time. It taught me a lot. You know, religion can be great when it is inspiring, uplifting, compassionate, and loving. Or it can bring torment and anxiety when it teaches fear, judgments, or hatred. When you find a church or a group of people that uplifts you and inspires you to be the best self possible, then follow it. Give your tithes and offerings so they can pay their bills. That's just great. And when you come out of church, If you are anxious and bewildered and full of anxiety or full of jealousy or hatred or resentment, then you either need to find a new church or you need to find something else that will uplift you. Because in my opinion, when Christ said, "Upon this rock I will build my church," he wanted the churches to carry out Christ's teachings, the teachings that he had already begun of non-judgment, no judgment, no motives, no expectations. You know, people often ask me when I'm talking about to their group, what religion am I? So they want to make sure I come from a Christian background for my books. And yes, I was brought up in the Christian religion. I was brought up in the Catholic Church. I went to the Methodist Church, and now my husband and I are with the Greek Orthodox Church. So I've been through all the churches. So I try to explain it to people by using a Venn diagram. Now, for those of you who do not understand, this is a blank Venn diagram, 2 concentric circles that overlap in the middle, okay? This Venn diagram I made for this presentation. And you will see I have religion in one side, spirituality in the other, and religion and spirituality in the middle. See, there are religious people here who are so in tune to their doctrine and so strict in their beliefs that they will have nothing at all to do with spirituality. I understand that. That's okay. And there are spiritual people, and there is a bad side to spirituality, that are so, what I call out there in the spiritual world, that they will have nothing to do with a doctrine or a religion. And then there are people in the middle who try to find the good aspects from religion and the blessings from spirituality and bring them together. So I like to say, I'm in the middle. So that's my little Venn diagram. Anyway, God does not live in one church more than any other. And he does not live in one philosophy more than any other, one spiritual philosophy more than any other. God lives in your heart, in your kindness that you do for each other. God resides in your truth. And everyone must decide their truth. If your truth matches a religion that teaches you, that's wonderful. And if it matches a spiritual philosophy that you love and you want to follow to be kind and good, then that's wonderful. You are the one that has to live with it, and you are the one that has to make that choice. The closer you live to your truth, what you believe, the happier, the more peaceful you are, and the greater contribution you will bring to the healing of our planet. You know, the Dalai Lama once said, "My religion is kindness." I like to think that my religion is kindness, I hope. So wouldn't it be great if all religious teachings and all spirituality teachings simply taught kindness? Wow. Here is your affirmation for the miracle of religion. I trust my knowings to guide my truth, whether my truth be found through religion or spirituality or both. I am right with God because I am right with myself. Once again, I trust my knowings to guide me to my truth, whether my truth be found through religion or spirituality or both. I am right with God because I am right with myself. Thank you so much for watching Miracles with Mary Ellen. Join me on Wednesday for Mary Ellen's Miracle Moment, and on Friday for Mary Ellen's Miracle Minute. And you can connect with me through my website at askmaryellen.com. And don't forget to buy a copy of either one of these wonderful books, Healing Words, Life Lessons to Inspire, or Truth, Taking Responsibility Unleashes True Healing, both found on Amazon and through my website at askmaryellen.com. Thank you, and I will see you next Monday for the miracle. I think I'm going to do aging, the miracle of aging. I'll see you then. Thank you so much for being with me. I am so blessed by all of you guys. Robert, Pete, Manny, Nancy, everybody, thank you so much for watching.